Howdy guys, Rex here. We are live on the live stream, unannounced live stream. Sorry for not announcing it. Kept a pretty busy day today, but I thought we could just go live. A lot of people are cooped up in the houses, I've been hearing. So here we are. And we're just going to talk about anything you guys want to talk about. I can show off some stuff. I got an after action report coming up here after a few minutes on some different equipment, some different stuff we did. And some of the training events over the last year, where we can keep up on that. But we're live, man. The idea of this particular live stream is anything. Hey, how you guys doing? Good to see you. We're just going to visit, like whatever you guys want to visit about. Howdy, guys. Yeah, I'm doing great. Where I'm at, it's actually pretty good. It snowed today a lot, and it was very, very windy. It was, I think, 11 degrees almost all day. Towards the end of the day, it got up to 17 degrees. And it was very, very windy and snowy. So another blizzard hit, you know, but what are you going to do? Any training in North Dakota? Yes, that is the plan. You know, something funny, this is interesting. Last fall or last year is typically when I would have scheduled up all of 2020, right? Something told me to like not go overboard on that. And every time I was about to do some scheduling, like something actually hit me and just kind of like, nope. And so I had a few classes early this year. There's one more in South Carolina. I'm gonna send a letter out to those guys. I think the East Coast is kind of shut down for the most part, so we're gonna reschedule that probably. We've been getting some requests there, so we'll talk about that. But yes, we do plan on, once everything calms down, we will definitely be doing more North Dakota training for sure. So lit on fire. So. Yep. I got some different stuff to show you guys in a minute here. How you guys doing? Yeah, like that's gonna happen. I know, dude. Yeah, people are getting crazy, man, especially on TV. But that's the interesting thing. If they force everybody into their houses and you're not allowed to leave your house, your only window into the world is television. Then they compel the entire narrative. See, I'm allowed to go outside and I can look at the squirrel on the tree. No, the world is still here. And then I'm not scared. But if you're stuck in your house and all you can watch is Tom Brokaw, like Anchorman, when the teleprompters broke down and they're like, you know, they're going nuts and they got campfires and they're like skinning people. Or remember Anchorman when they all go crazy because of teleprompter? That's all you're going to see. And so it's a feedback mechanism of panic. And I'm not into that deal so much. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess I'm fully prepped, so I'm not worried about that deal. I'll be okay. Prepped on multiple dimensions. I eat Oreos. Me as well. Not anymore. I actually don't eat any sugar anymore, hardly. It messes me up. I get squirrely on sugar. If you guys remember the guitar video from back in the day. Hey, how you guys doing? Good to catch you live. Yeah, I need to get like a media coordinator so that I can coordinate this stuff better. But I'm off the cuff kind of on the fly kind of guy. Yep. We'll be getting to the equipment in a minute here. Oh no, don't. So I'm reading the commentaries here. People are saying some funny things, but I appreciate the love, guys. You guys are sweethearts. Yo. Just installed a bidet. Yep. Actually, that's a great idea. I was looking at the same deal. That's actually a way better way to go. It's way more clean. If you guys watched the toilet paper panic video from a couple weeks ago, I talk about how they do it in most of the world. They think we're weird for having toilet paper. You know, they think they're just smearing it around. So water is your number one bet if you have water. And or dirt in a dry area, actually. That's why this hand is not for handshaking. This hand is for preparing food, right? A lot of cultural deals going on there. Plenty of sanitizer in outhouses. Huh. You should shoot a toilet paper roll from 1,200 yards. That's a pretty funny idea. You know, actually, I usually keep pretty darn well stocked up on all that basic essential stuff. But I just thought I'd go through the aisle at the grocery store. It actually is gone. I was like surprised. The panic is still underway. I think it's going to be like 22 rimfire ammo where it'll never like be on the shelf again. So just get the bidet. I heard from a guy that they make some really fancy ones like over in Japan. and he's one of my friends from a certain area, and he got one installed in his house, and it's got all these different, like a car wash going on, and yeah, pretty good. Sorry, I know we're getting a little adolescent there with the toilet paper jokes. Yeah, got some blizzard in the south there too, huh? Okay. Yeah, RV paper. Yep, at the RV store, that's a different kind of toilet paper. I used to have an RV for a while there. Hey, good to see you guys. Yep. Just wax. So what's on your guys' mind? What do you want to visit about? I'm good with whatever, man. I'm cool. Utah snowed again. Yep. What's the best upper and lower? So really, in all honesty, most of this stuff is going to work fine if it's the Indian, not the arrow. I'll put it like that, okay? Or, like AERO, right? That's a good brand. There's a lot of good brands that are cheap. I like to shop with outfits that are patriotic, so I'm giving my money to people that aren't like stupid. And so I like Midwest Industries because they're patriots, and I like BCM. Those are good guys. There's a lot of other good makes, of course. Actually, I have a lot of Colts from back in the day because I had AR-15s before everyone else was making them. Colts are good, but they're I don't like their business model all that much. They're part of the military-industrial complex, and they don't have any standards, man. But yeah, PSA is good. Yep. The best upper and lower. Most of those rifles, if they're done correctly, and if they're not done correctly, really you have to just take it to an armorer who knows what they're doing to make sure all the parts are to spec and properly done. There are some that have like Turkish parts, and they have some kind of metal in them that's like real soft. But for the most part, it's all kind of the same stuff. And if it's properly assembled, if they properly peen everything and make sure everything's not going to rattle apart, and if you do your part as an armorer to go through the system, learn how to manage it properly, those rifles are all going to be very reliable and way more accurate in a hair on fire type situation. If you're a bench rest guy, you'll notice differences in accuracy maybe, but in all honesty, like a bone stock M4 carbine, a cheap one, is going to shoot practically just as good as some big heavy barrel configuration. Differences in AR-10s, which one is best? Okay, so that's a whole different animal. There's a lot of different, it throws the scales on the balance to readjust your center of gravity a lot in terms of priorities. Those, you're going to have to get something maybe a little more battle proven because they haven't been through that fire on a wide scale since 1965. So the Stoner design, right, originally came out in the 10 platform, right? Before it was in the 5.56 millimeter, it was in 308 or 7.62. But when it was deployed across the world, it was widely 5.56. So most of the evolution of that rifle design was done in 5.56. And a lot of the AR-10s missed out on some of that until recently. So like if you like a Knight's Armament, they make a good one in the SR-25s, and all the stuff that the Army uses would be a good indicator because they have to make sure they actually work. And even some of those can be fussy. It's a lot of it. It's in how you manage it. Best M16 kit. I don't even know what that means. I shot an M16 a bunch of times, but I don't know what that question means. Hey Rex, are you kin to Ted Nugent? Yes, he is my spirit uncle. We both have the spirit of the wild. Last time I drove through Michigan, I just couldn't help but put on an American flag cowboy hat. It just happens. What is a good rifle scope for a precision firearms custom AR pattern 6.5 Grendel rifle? And now the comment's gone. If you're in a 6.5 Grendel, it depends on what you're trying to do. It depends on the footprint of the rifle. It depends how deployable you want it to be. There's a lot of good scopes out there. I don't know if there's anything, there's some stuff that where the BDC might kind of intersect that if you want to go with the BDC reticle. But if you're going to be doing long range, then it's nice to be able to dial it in. And we'll talk about scopes in a minute here. But best thermal? I've seen thermals that were millions of dollars. I've seen thermals that were hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've seen thermals that were, 40 grand. And then the one that I have right now is a Trail XP50 by Pulsar, which when Pulsar originally came out, I wasn't super enthusiastic for, Maybe it's just I don't know what it was. But when I seen the Trail XP50 that I ended up landing on, it's as good as the couple $100,000 versions in terms of like a rifle scope. It's really good. Like you can see pretty good when you get it adjusted. Now I don't like all the different menus and buttons and stuff. That's great if you're going to record hunts or do, non-life threatening things. But if you need to just turn that stupid thing on and have it work, that's where I like the Trijicon, where you just turn it on and it's on. And they work good too. But the Pulsar XP50 Trail is an incredible value for $5,000, and the imaging is just stupid good. Howdy from Tulsa. Good to see you guys. Best time to buy a scope. Wait for good deals? ? Yeah, so like here's what I've been doing. I ain't sitting around waiting for my money to gain value. Now it might not, but like I've had this habit for my whole life. If I have $1, I immediately turn it into something I can use, or property, or something real, right? And I don't buy rap CDs or nothing like that. I buy useful stuff like food, toilet paper before it goes nuts, ammunition. Like, so I've been on that wagon, the stockpiling wagon for, well, not stockpiling, but just being prepared wagon for 20 plus years. That's just kind of how a guy grows up around here, where you have bad blizzards, or you don't rely on society all the time. You just kind of got to take care of yourself. And when I was out in the mountains and stuff like that, you live like that. So yes, I would definitely not wait around to at least get my foot in the door on something that's a good optic. And so, or a rifle. If there's anything you ever needed to buy in terms of like equipment, you might want to hurry up and take a look, because a lot of that stuff comes from places that got shut down for a while. And now with the rebalancing of strategic power and manufacturing power and the new trade deals and there's a huge shifting in the world going on right now. Center of gravity is shifting a lot. We don't know what's going to happen for sure. And so if there's something that you want, like radio antennas or ammunition, the price of lead, by the way, could go there's so many different things that could happen. And $1 is, you can't eat it. It's a piece of paper. You need to turn it into something immediately. Plus, it'll support the economy and keep people in their jobs. Montana is still good. Yep. Yeah, I'm right next to Montana here. It's a good squared away state. People mostly have their, just like anywhere else, have their heads screwed on straight. Oh, they're a good product. You can get basically the exact same thing with a better reticle, in my opinion, in a 1:8 type scope. With the primary arms Platinum series is really good. And it's actually, if you look at the parts and the glass and the sourcing and the manufacturer, it's the same thing, basically. It's actually, the way it's set up, I like it a little better. Now, I've seen a lot of Trijicons are nice. They're really nice, but the Platinum series is like a really nice deal. Again, if you come to the seminar, you'll learn that like different scope brands, right? There's huge variances between different models, right? And so when you look at that, like Leupold, right? They make stuff that's $6,000 and they make stuff that's $150, and some stuff that's $99. And some of it's made in China, some of it's made in Japan, some of it's assembled in the United States, some of it's like re-inspected or reconfigured or whatever. So, or it goes through their facility where they actually stack the lenses appropriately and test everything, make sure everything's put together properly. Here, it might be assembled here if you spend a little more money. But like no brand is going to have like, you have to look at the model. You have to look at well-vetted models. And so some companies have more of a budget name to them, but they actually have models that are incredibly good, that'll blow the pants off of brands that might have a cheap model. Like Zeiss has a bunch of stuff that's made in Japan, and some stuff that's made, the Hensoldt made in Germany, right? So just because it says Zeiss on it, don't assume it's a German scope. They're made all over the place. You have to look model by model. I'm gonna actually have to redo the Sniper 101 scope selection, because that was before there was like good scopes. That was before there's only a few models that sort of worked, that were very expensive, and only like one or two models that were sort of cheap that kind of even sort of worked. Now there's really good stuff on the market. Okay, let's see what else we got. IOR, I actually have a couple good reviews coming up on IOR. I got a 5 to 25 and I got another one. It's a 1 to 10. And I am working on those. Of course, you guys know it's been crazy in the world. So there's been a lot of stuff that got shuffled around. I do hope to release a lot of that as soon as I can. Yep, Vortex is going to be, it depends on which model you're getting. But yeah, those are all the same scopes. Like if you really look at the factories, they're going to have different specifications they call for. Like if they make an order from China, if they used to, right? You'll see that like the same plant that's building a Vortex one day, they send out the same exact parts and they stamp a different brand name on there the next day that goes to some other outfit that the Vortex guys might hate, or vice versa. So you can't look at brand names and have that much of an idea. So I'm not brand loyal so much. I'm model by model, okay? If that makes any kind of sense. Hey, Western Australia, how you doing down there? Good to see you guys. Actually, I just attended a wedding in Melbourne digitally. I missed out on the plane ride. I was silly, crazy world, I'll tell you what. All right. So I got an after action report I can share with you. Yeah, I can answer that question. Sorry. So all right, you guys keep asking about this deal. So this is the Arkin EP4, and I've been playing with it long enough now to have kind of an idea whether I like it or not. My initial impressions on this were very good. Of course, we did the tracking graduation precision test, okay? That means like I do a full elevation range from top to bottom as far as it'll go. And I dial it up and down and I put it on the truth stick and I trigonometrically verify that the tracking is accurate. That's one of my first tests I do because in the genre I'm in, which is extreme long-range precision shooting, I want stuff to track good so I don't have to get I don't have to get into witchcraft to try to make my numbers come out right because the scope is off. But this one was awesome with that. You guys can see the review from before. This one did really good on that. Actually, it passed the freeze test very well. Like everything turns fine when it was, I forget how cold it was. I think we got it to negative 29 degrees Fahrenheit, like for 24 hours, and we took it out and along with a bunch of other optics. And that was the SH4, I believe. And everything worked fine on it. Magnification ring is working fine on here. That's probably the snuggest part of it. That's not a bad thing, because you don't want it to be totally slopped out either, because then you have other problems. But in terms of turning it when it's cold, the parallax actually functioned good in the freeze test, and it's been holding up good. We have it right here on the, this is a axial precision convergence. It's that same rifle we've been using for quite a while. Proof Research barrel. I got the Acadian Armament Pantera on there. Actually, I really like that suppressor. It's lightweight, and it works very well. It doesn't change my point of impact all that much on this rifle. Harris bipod with my sponge job on there that I sponged. And then this is a carbon fiber stock that's made by Axial Precision. This is very lightweight. This rifle's like stupid light. Even with the can on there, it's very light. And with this big optic. So the EP4 is the 34 millimeter version. I actually saw some, there's other configurations of the EP4, different, magnification ranges. And I got to see 2 more of them at the last class we did, the ELR course in Rotan, Texas, where we're shooting out really far, like way past a mile, like 2,000, 3,000 yards, as far as you really want to go. And I saw 2 of these at that class on big magnums, and they were working really good. And so I always check at all the classes the tracking of these different scopes and the performance, and I log what breaks, and I log, I keep track of this stuff so that I can give you guys a lot more confidence in my analysis of optics and in general equipment. So that's one of the nice things about being in the training side, is I get to see everything on the market repeatedly to have a large enough sample size to where it's not like I just got one in for review and drew a whole conclusion on that. I get to see a lot of them. And so it takes, otherwise it's a very, very slow process to gain confidence, but when I get to see a lot more scopes, it helps a lot. So, but no, this Arkin, dude, like I handed it, and it's a brand new company. They're really, really, really good for the money. So this would definitely blow the socks off of anything else in that price range from what I'm seeing so far. They're doing really good. Actually, they responded very well. I got to see their first and second generation of a different series, and actually was talking with the guys trying to help them evolve the product a little faster. That's one of the things that I do in as a reviewer, is I work with different outfits or try to assist everybody in giving them feedback, right? And so I do that with a lot of different outfits, but they actually were very responsive to, like, I wrote like a detailed deal, and they want to make good stuff. So this is kind of the evolved model, and it's nice. It's and it's only, what do they cost? Anyone know what these things cost? So it's sorry about that, low power mode there. So it's like 34 millimeter optic. When I handed it to my guys to look at, even the SH series scope, which is like only $350, and they have zero stops and all that on there, they thought, like, dude, like, they were shocked that it was $350 for one of them. They thought at least like 1,000, at least 1,500, And this thing, you would assume by playing with it, just how everything's put together, it's got a very good control group on it. Everything does track very well, like under like 0.5% error if you can discern that, and that could just be parallax. If you actually get honest with it, it's like basically zero discernible error on the tracking, which is good. So that's cool. And the zero stop is a good design. You just use a screw up there and you just screw it down until it's very, very easy to drive. Yeah, I get to play with these things a lot, and they actually come out with a good optic. But this one, the EP, the 34 millimeter, is like under $600, I think, if you can find one right now. High demand, high and low supply, right? And so if you guys want to get your foot in the door on any of that kind of stuff, I would recommend if you go to Arkin, for these guys, it's Arkin Optics USA, and they will have, I think they have their lead times. They're trying to be as honest as possible with all the stuff that's going on. But like with me right now, I ain't messing around. Like if I'm low on extra radio batteries or socks, people don't think about fishing tackle or extra monofilament line survival gear. Get it while you can. Because, I mean, maybe it'll all just blow over like nothing, but maybe it won't. And so it's, people are going to be using cash for toilet paper maybe one of these days. Spend it while you got it. I got a compound bow. Yep, that's actually a good idea. There's actually a lot of the real Rambo. Remember that movie Rambo? So the story is, and I know they're cheesy movies, but I love Rambo. Especially like 1 and 2 are just awesome. 3 is awesome in a different stupid kind of way. 4 is fun, and then 5 is kind of stupid. But I love Rambo. But the idea of special forces guys using bow and arrow, they actually do that. They actually use a lot of bows and arrows in real life because they're quiet, and there's places you can get them into and out of, and you can reuse your ammo over and over. You can do lots of things with bow and arrow. And you don't need a silencer, see? Very, very nice. It's a very quiet way to take out a deer or whatever. First Blood, yeah, dude. Like, I used to watch those Rambo movies and think, even when I was a kid, and be like, this is really over the top stupid. But now I watch it with my wisdom, and it's just classic. It's gold, solid gold. I love it way better than I did when I was little. Same thing with Land of the Lost from 1977. When I was a kid, I was pretty excited about it. Grumpy, the T-Rex, trying to bite at the mouth of the cave, and they had to get the fly swatter, that big stick. And now when I watch it, I'm just like, whoa, this is even better than I remember. Like, they had to make a lot of puppets and stuff and claymation, Yeah. John Wayne took care of people with bows and arrows. Oh, ooh. Maybe I shouldn't have read that one, you crazy commenting guys. CNN fake news? What are you talking about? Are you serious? CNN? The Central News Network? Hi, Rex. Please use consistent capitalization and punctuation and avoid special characters and emojis in your video titles. This makes easier for archiving. Okay. I will try to do that. I'm not shut into learning. I can always learn more about how it makes it easier for you guys. I'm here for you. It's cool. Yeah, First Blood was the best one. The reason my finger is on here is because I'm scrolling through the comments for all the old dudes that don't know what I'm doing here. Hold on, maybe I can scroll from over here. I don't know. Screaming Eagle. Everyone's just visiting. Did I cover everything in the world already? We good? Nah, I just want to visit. I'm cool. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Operation Garden Plot. Do you think the CIA is watching you? Dude, the CIA is like Walmart. There's like 8 bazillion guys that work for it. Of course they're watching, guaranteed. In fact, I know they probably are. Recurve or compound bow for longevity. I'm a recurve guy, actually, because they're very, very low footprint. There's no moving parts to get lost. A compound bow is awesome, but I'm a recurve guy. I grew up with the recurve and wood arrows, like all different kinds of like garage sale wood arrows. Some of them would break in half and try stabbing you or give you a big sliver. When I grew up with the recurve, I didn't even have sights on it. You know, you just point the arrow, like you imagine the shaft of the arrow, like what it's pointed at, and you just kind of release like it's all samurai kind of stuff. Good stuff. Screaming Eagle by the what the hell? I can't read these comments. They're going by too fast. Thoughts on the socialist check? I heard about it, man. I tuned in for the last part of it. I normally catch them, but I had some business meetings on the phone today. And so, like, I'm not a big fan of just printing or creating out of the thin air another $10 trillion. I know that there's a crisis going on with people being out of work. I mean, everyone's hit. I've been hit by it too, right? So, like, I don't know, like... They complained about Obama for 1.4 trillion, right? Yeah, so that's, I don't know. I'm a man of principle. It's going to cost me a lot of money to buy me off like that. That's just me. Now, again, we do pay taxes, right? We do pay taxes, and like, they steal so much money for stupid crap. It's about time they can give some back, is what a lot of guys say, and I can't really be against that, but I do know that it seems like it's all engineered to not work all that well. I think they're going to go digital here pretty soon. Well, that's exciting. You guys hear about all that stuff? Yeah, so like actually, you know, I've been won over by these guys. I think that I don't know how much battery life I got left on here. So if it turns off, I didn't get smoked yet. It's just the battery ran out. But I'm thinking the best way to deal with if you have a cold that's going around that's kind of scary, first thing you do is you shut down everything in the country and completely crash the economy and the stock market. That's the first thing you do to get rid of the cold. Second thing you do is once the economy crashes, then you have to make a digital currency because you don't want to get that germs all over the money, right? So you make a digital currency, and then you have to test everybody and that's a great time as well. You know, there's a lot of pesky people running around out there with their own ideas thinking they shouldn't be managed by people. It's a good time to, you know, pay them a visit while everything's shut down, kind of like they did in China there maybe. And I think that's a great idea there. So that's one thing I would do. And after you get the digital currency, the best way to have it in your wallet is you can just print it straight in your hand. You know, Bill Gates was talking about that, a microdot tattoo, right? Where you just have a bunch of little, I think they are read by infrared, I believe. But it's a microdot tattoo that's actually digital, right in your hand. Pretty cool. I mean, the idea was around for thousands of years. They just aren't able to execute on it until this week. So I think that I keep hearing about that. We'll see if that goes down. That'll be pretty fun. So, and then they can track, you see. The reason they're going to have to do that is for the children, of course, and for the old grandpa. You can't let grandpa, you know, it's for him, is why everyone has to do that. Then they can track who got the proper inoculations and who didn't. And they can track exactly where you go with your social distancing and everything. And it'll be your universal deal here. Your identification, everything will be, and it'll be pretty handy, you know? Maybe you could even do it in the forehead. People think I'm nuts, dude. I go to Walmart and they have the self-checkouts, and my blood pressure goes like double, and I'm angry. I'm like, argh. And so if I have to use the self-checkout because the other ones all have like huge lines on them and only 2 of the lines are open, right? I'll use the self-checkout and I'll be like, please place hand. Oh, please place mark into scanner now. You know, Satan tells you have a nice day, you know, and people look at me like I'm funny. I just read the book, that's all. They might think I'm weird for saying it, but it's been written down for a while. I think they're weird for implementing it. But then again, it's all kind of supposed to happen, right? Are we going to stop that deal? No. It's supposed to happen. It's a test. This whole experience is a test, guys. Like some people want to make it go faster and facilitate stuff. I say no. You have to allow it to go at its own pace. The harvest master is in charge of that. He's the one that decides when the harvest happens, because he actually knows how to farm. We don't, right? And he's harvesting that. So we allow him to have the timing. We don't want to mess that deal up. Oh, my battery's getting close to dead. Right as I get radical. Too bad. Yeah, so check it out. Check out the microdot tattoo situation. It's not a conspiracy theory at all. Actually, there's a lot of like science.org. You can look at the peer-reviewed papers, and you can look up him talking about it, how excited he is to get it going. It's going to save a lot of lives, you know. So that'll be good. Yeah, 5 gamma. I shouldn't probably say what everyone else calls it. That's someone asking about 5 gamma. Are you a conspiracy theorist? You think that there's invisible stuff that flies through the air, like, 60 gigahertz, 50 gigahertz. You think that that's actually real? If it was real, how come I don't see it? There's no such thing as radio frequencies. There's no such thing as electromagnetic radiation. That's a conspiracy theory. And it's not true that 5 gamma, that situation, is at 50 or 60 gigahertz, which on O2 molecules, where you have 2 oxygens hooked together, it excites the valence electrons and doesn't let it bind to hemoglobin, where if you're close enough to one of them deals, it'll make you fall over. That's all a conspiracy theory. Physics and chemistry does not exist. So I don't want to hear no more of this physics and chemistry talk on my channel. That's crazy talk. Dude, I'm excited. I ain't worried about none of this. I'm going to be eating popcorn on Judgment Day. It's going to be hilarious. I'm just going to be sitting there just like, I remember that guy. Well, I remember that guy. Oh, dear. No, like a lot of people get bent out of shape about it. I do. But it's almost like gallows humor at a certain point. Like, we are only in charge of our jurisdictional area, right? I'm in charge of what I've got. I've got a platform to say all this stuff to you fine people. So that's what I'm using. I'm trying to make the best use of the tools he's given me. If you have a bigger platform, you're responsible to use that. If you have a small circle, that means you have a very high, a better quality circle than I probably got in terms of like, because you're actually with these people, right? And so whatever circles you do have, 999 viewers, we're almost to $1,000. Ah, geez, come on, guys. But yeah. Oh, there we go. We got 1,000 viewers. That's cool. Thank you. But yeah, you have a small circle, and that's good. We are in charge of speaking the truth and doing what is right and helping people. Love the Lord your God all the time and not wavering because someone scares you or someone's going to try to do all this bad stuff. Just tell them no and just keep preaching the truth. And I think we'll all make it through this deal. And do remember, this is a test. This is just part 1. Part 2 is yet to be seen. All right, guys, my battery is on 1%. I'm going to have to check out. We'll come back for another live stream, hopefully soon. Maybe I'll make this kind of a regular deal so we can visit more. A lot of good questions. But yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side, gentlemen. May the Schwartz be with you all. If I can find the cancel button.